It is what we do on a Friday night here at the Voice of College Football. Appreciate you stopping by for the best in discussion, debate, and analysis based on your contributions. Of course, there in the live chat, we take your calls, of course. So get here. We've left a link there in the chat. And I do pardon myself. I hope you will as well for getting these links out there late. We just set up the show maybe an hour ago. But that's why you subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for the notifications to know when we go live. But no, it's going to be 10 p.m. Eastern time or post-game after reasonably important games. I guess we could stretch this one tonight between Virginia Tech and Cal, but I wasn't going to come on here at 12:30 in the morning. Just wasn't going to do it tonight. And yes, Cal technically could make the college football playoff. They're 5-2. They could run the table, go 10-2, and somehow, based on atrocities elsewhere, I still don't think it could happen. But anyway, so we could stretch it to that degree. But of course, Virginia Tech was the favorite coming into this game, despite a 2-5 record versus Cal's 5-2. Cal was the 6.5-point dog on the road. They got down at 10-0. We'll check the score here in just a second. I was just starting to settle in and watch this one. All right. And then the bewitching hour hit us of 10 p.m. Eastern time. And we'll, of course, run down the week 9 schedule. I always have issues trying to remember what week it is. And again, you've got me for an hour at least. So that's up to you. I will stay here until at least, I believe I now have an assignment for tomorrow afternoon. So I may have to run somewhere tomorrow afternoon, but until about noon, you've got me. So we can do a 14-hour show if you please. Just give me time to take a shower after the show. All right. Appreciate y'all being here. Let's see who's in the chat. Then we'll take our first call. Hi, Karen. Go Buffs. Got a date against Utah on Saturday. B. Vargo, go Mean Green. We'll check the score. Minnesota Dave's soon to be on the line. To Real MVP, thank you for reminding everyone to simply hit the like button. It's an easy thing to do. Even if you don't agree with me, don't even like me, don't even care that you ever see me again, well, you're here in the chat. So do it for the chat. Do it for the people that actually like to see us producing content here at the Voice of College Football, because it's simply, I don't go around looking to see how many likes we have, because it doesn't matter to me if we have 1 or 5,000 for me personally, but it does matter to YouTube. So therefore, it does matter to me in a roundabout way. So thank you to Real MVP. Yes, Minnesota in the house. Michael, we've got a Big Ten faction on the line, and we'll get right to it. We see G Bama Boy, Never Mind Me, and others. And you know what? The one thing I took away from last night's show, beside a good conversation with the Real MVP, and I was going to focus tonight's show, but of course we've got games to preview, and it's going to look much different on a Saturday night going into Sunday after the games are played on a Saturday. But to look at the various college football playoff scenarios and see what is the best case scenario for each league and what is the worst case scenario for each league. Don't know that we're going to get a chance to do that, but if you caught the conversation between the Real MVP and myself from the other night, I think in the ACC we can say this: Virginia and Georgia Tech running the table, and Virginia winning the ACC championship game, because Georgia Tech's undefeated. Virginia's got 1 loss outside the conference, ironically to a team within the conference. Figure that one out. I'll leave that one out there. Because if you're not aware that this goes on in these conferences at times, everywhere but the SEC and the Big Ten, they seem to screw around with this in the ACC and the Big 12, having teams play that are in the same conference, but it's not a conference game. Baylor, Utah, Arizona, Kansas State, North Carolina, Wake Forest, and now we've got North Carolina State and Virginia. But so Virginia's got a loss. So a second loss probably sends them packing. So we would need, as ACC fans, for Virginia to win the conference over an undefeated Georgia Tech team in the championship game. And then Miami and Louisville, who have already played, of course, to both run the table. And you would have Virginia as the ACC champion at 12-1. Georgia Tech is the ACC championship runner-up at 12-1. Then Miami and Louisville at 11-1. Best case scenario for the ACC. How do you leave out any of those four teams? But how does the ACC get four teams in? So that would be one example there. All right, not to belabor the point, we will remind everyone that the most important statement I will make tonight is that the Amazon link's in the description section of this video and all the videos. So when you shop on Amazon, please use the link that we provide. It is exactly the same shopping experience. There is absolutely no reason. Again, even if you can't stand me, if you like what we do here at the Voice of College Football, please use the Amazon link. Do it for everybody in the chat. Okay. Michael's here to talk some ball. Michael, what's going on?
Hey, Mark. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Pretty good. Hopefully, it comes to fruition tomorrow, since you said Purdue is going to be most likely 1-3. And I think you might have put the kiss to death on Purdue, but I digress. Anyway, I got a question.
I did not need to put a kiss of death on Purdue. They did that to themselves a long time ago. Like,
okay,
yeah.
Do I need to put the KOD on Ohio State? No, I'm just kidding.
Go right ahead.
Anyway, I'm going to say this. A lot of people saying, you included, is saying Ohio State's better than Indiana. I can agree with you to a point, but when you go to head-to-head, both their schedules are kind of weak this year. But can you still give Ohio State the edge, considering IU played two top 10 opponents? What is making you think that? Is it because of the roster?
Who are these two opponents that Indiana played? That are
Illinois and Oregon.
Yes. All right. Well, do you believe that Illinois is one of the 10 best football teams in America?
At the time, I thought they were. Now, I think maybe around the 15 to 20.
Okay. That would be fairly accurate, but somewhat kind. So just because Indiana's played a better schedule doesn't mean that they're better.
Okay. What makes Ohio State better then?
I think we have about 20 years of evidence.
I get that.
I'm not talking about making a comparison between the two programs for the last 20 years. That's not what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
When Indiana went 11-1 last year, what was everyone saying? Well, they haven't played anyone. Let's see them play. Like no one had firm conviction that they were really that good. And as it turned out, they were much improved. Of course, they were so much improved. They were remarkable compared to their Indiana self, but they weren't one of the best teams in the country by a long shot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they substantiated that. When Ohio State shows up, they're Ohio State. They have athletes. They have a semblance of an offense and a defense that won a national championship last year.
And I get that.
Offensive linemen, wide receivers, defensive backs, linebackers, defensive linemen, like switch out the running backs and the quarterback and two offensive linemen and a couple of defensive ends. And those are the guys that won a national championship last year. So I am convinced that this is one of the best teams in the country and most likely the best team in the country.
Okay. Now, say most likely it's a collision course. They'll both be playing in Indianapolis unless something drastic happened.
Yes.
And say and IU does what they did to Illinois to Ohio State. Are you still going to stick that Ohio State is the better team?
Well, if Indiana beats Ohio State like they beat Illinois, then I will be shocked, first of all. Secondly, no, I will not be arguing that Ohio State's better than Indiana if they lose by 9 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But let's actually watch that play out. Now, if Indiana is substantially better than Ohio State and they are decidedly the better team, I'll say that they're probably the better team. Most likely they are the better team. But if these two teams play like a 31-28 game down to the wire, then I'm still probably, even if Indiana wins, going to tell you that I believe Ohio State's probably a better team. We kind of saw that against Oregon last year.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
But that doesn't discount the results on the field. It's not like I'm going to say Ohio State's the Big Ten champion or they should be ranked higher. No. The results on the field are what count.
Yeah, and my take is I think it's 1 and 1A, in my opinion.
Okay.
But I gotta tell you this though. How much more? I mean, like I know you said, what was it, last week or a couple weeks ago, that Ohio State's got a 17-game mindset.
Yes.
You think Kirstignetti's the same way?
Yeah, he probably is. Yeah, he probably does have a 17-game mindset. When I said that, I simply was going by Ryan Day with the move to the 12-team playoff last year, being very outspoken and out front about utilization of running backs. His two running backs, Travion Henderson, did not have a game in which he carried more than 10 times last year. You're talking about one of the best backs in the nation, not carrying the ball like 7-8 times a week. They had the mindset that we believe we're going to play 16 or 17 games. And Ryan Day's done the same thing this year. He's done it a little bit differently because he's got young backs that can carry the ball, and he's got 3 of them. But he's done it more from the standpoint of we're not going to kill ourselves to win these games 50-0. We're going to play very methodically. We're going to squeeze the play clock, just go on long drives, methodical drives. And, they're fine with beating Illinois by 18 points and Washington by 18 points. They don't need to kill them in classic Ohio State style by 6 touchdowns. And that's what they're looking at.
I was just wondering stuff like that because it seemed like with IU, it seemed like to me they got the killer mentality. They always want to try to put the team out of their misery in the first half and just cakewalk the rest of the game. They want to try to hit the juggler early, and then in mindset and then once the second half.
Well, who have they done this against besides Illinois?
Let's see. Let me look up their schedule.
Nobody any good.
That's what I'm saying. And a lot of people thinking that tomorrow might be a trap game with UCLA.
Okay. Again, I'm a bit fuzzy on the definition of a trap game, but by some people's standards. So Indiana had a bye week last week.
Well, against Michigan State.
Oh, they played Michigan State last week. I'm sorry. And then I don't know who they're playing next week.
Next week they get Penn State, I believe. No, Ohio. No, I mean no.
I don't know who they play, but anyway, sure, it's a trap game.
All right. No, I was just wondering stuff like that. They get UCLA, and then next week they get Maryland.
Okay. Yes, no one is going to define the UCLA game sandwiched between Michigan State and Maryland as a trap game. How is that a trap game?
Because the way UCLA has been playing lately, considering how they started the season. Haven't they won 3 in a row?
Yeah, but typically a trap game is trapped between 2 high-profile games.
Fair point.
Yeah.
But no, so I haven't got a chance. I mean, I've seen bits and pieces of your show this week, but still, what's on your schedule for tomorrow, game-wise?
Oh, we'll run that down at some point. The way things are looking, I don't know what's going to be on my game schedule tomorrow. I might be on the road most of the day. We'll see.
Safe travels, by the way.
We'll see. All right, Michael. Anything else?
Just have a great rest of your Saturday. I say Saturday. Great rest of your Friday night. And, well, actually, last thing. Between Sayan and Mendoza, can you say those are they're probably the 2 best quarterbacks in the conference right now?
Yeah, I would take those 2.
But which one would you take over the other?
For just this season?
Yeah.
Well, I would want to watch them play. Like if this was a serious situation where I actually was like a personnel director of a team, obviously I'd watch every snap that they played and evaluate them. I've not done that. But Mendoza's got the experience, so I would take him.
Yeah, because I've only seen Sane once, and that was in the Texas game. So we'll see. All right, sir. Hopefully Purdue gets it done because I know the month of November is going to be extremely brutal, but it would be nice to play Spoilermakers once or twice during the month of November.
That's what you've got at this point.
All right, sir. Take care.
Michael.
And I'll see you tomorrow night.
Thank you.
Thanks. Take care.
All right. We got the Purdue rundown for Saturday that you've all been here for, taking on Rutgers. All right, Minnesota Dave stopping by. Minnesota Dave, what's going on?
How's it going, Mark?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I have a fun question to ask you. I'm playing a game in my head right now called Notre Dame or Dark Horse.
Okay.
And it comes down to like, which team would I pick from the Power Four conferences that are not ranked, that have not ranked teams in them that are 5-2, the same record as Notre Dame.
Like your beloved Golden Gophers, for example.
Yes. Yep. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So I decided to make it very simple for you.
Okay.
If I say ACC, and I think the best 5-2 team, excuse my dyslexia, 5-2 team is Pitt out of all the unranked. And I think that because Pitt also has a very helpful schedule because they do play Notre Dame. I think it's like the third of the last week for them.
I can probably make this very simple, but keep going. We'll play along.
All right. Well, I would probably say that Pitt will go in over Notre Dame because Notre Dame will probably, because they lose. And especially Pitt also plays Louisville and Miami at the end of the year. So the meat of their schedule is comes up.
Oh, maybe I misconstrued the game. I thought you were asking me who the better team was, Notre Dame or the best team in that conference at 5-2.
Yeah, at 5-2. But do you think they will make the playoffs if Pitt wins out? And do you think that if they don't make the play, or if I would say they don't make the ACC championship game, well, we just answered our own question because Pitt will be playing Notre Dame anyway.
Yes, Pitt is playing Notre Dame. So either select another team, or if you're asking me who is better, Notre Dame's better than Pitt.
Okay, yes. Okay, that's what I was kind of asking.
Okay.
So, let's go with Big Ten.
Okay.
I think the best team with a 5-2 record is Iowa. That's not ranked.
Okay.
Do you think with Iowa's rest of their schedule, and if they win out and Notre Dame wins out, but Iowa doesn't go to the Big Ten championship game, do you think they get selected over Notre Dame?
Okay. Iowa would have lost on a last-second field goal to Iowa State. They would have lost to Indiana. That's going to help them considerably because Indiana should be 13-0 Big Ten champions or 12-1 Big Ten runner-ups and still like number 3 in the country. And Iowa played them really well. And Iowa will have a win against Oregon. They'll have a win against USC. They'll have a win against Minnesota. And let's say those teams are 9-3, 8-4, 8-4, something in that range.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame will have its best win against USC, who, there's a comparison right there, but they both beat USC. And if USC is 8-4, Notre Dame lost their 2 games against Texas A&M and Miami. So they're actually collectively better losses, but not by much. That's a close call. Iowa actually has a better resume under that scenario than Notre Dame. They have better wins. I'm trying to think of Notre Dame's other
And then
good
also to
wins.
put in Nebraska, if Nebraska ends up being hot at the end of the year, and then that ends up being a win for Iowa.
Yeah. Let's say they
No.
beat a 9-3 Nebraska team. Iowa should get selected.
All right. Let's go to
If they can pull that off, if they can beat Oregon and go to USC and win, and Minnesota, Nebraska.
All right. Let's go with another 5-2 team. Let's go to the Big 12. I think the best unranked 5-2 team right now would probably be Iowa State.
Yeah, Iowa State's not getting in over Notre Dame. They're just not going to have good enough wins. They've already lost to Cincinnati and Iowa State. Give me a second here. So Iowa State has lost to Cincinnati and Colorado. Yes. Very close games, both of them, but still Cincinnati and Colorado. And their best wins would be against Arizona State and BYU and Iowa. Arizona State, BYU, and Iowa. No, Notre Dame's in. Their losses are just so much better.
All right. That's basically my question.
Oh, you didn't want to serve up the SEC.
Oh, the SEC, because I feel that a lot of teams are already ranked, and all their 5-2 teams are ranked. These were unranked teams that just didn't have a chance.
All right.
I mean, they have a chance, but it's such a little chance that they make it, like a 10% chance.
Now, the SEC team with the weakest schedule that could be 10-2 would be Texas.
And yeah, that's not super duper weak of a schedule if you put in Ohio State's, beating them. So, but it's going to be interesting, Mark. I think tomorrow's game, I'm so excited. I don't know if I'll be able to sleep tonight. It's always like this when it comes to Iowa and Wisconsin. Those are the two that I'm way too excited. It's almost like Christmas Day.
I can't believe that Minnesota is a 8.5 to 9.5 point underdog.
It went from like 7 to around like 8.5 the whole entire time. It's been bouncing around. I mean, I can see Vegas doing it because we haven't won there in a long time since 2 years ago. But some people even question that win. So,
well, here is a great reason why I question that point spread and just found it very surprising, especially after what Minnesota did last week. And I know that Vegas doesn't get moved much by one game result, and they shouldn't. But listen to this, and we know how good Iowa's been the last 5 years: 6-2, 10-4, 8-5, 10-4, 8-5. Listen to their point spreads. I got Phil Steele's magazine right here with the last 5 years of point spreads. They're Big Ten point spreads. They've been last year 2-point favorite. That was against Minnesota. 2-point favorite, 18-point underdog, 2-point favorite, 8-point favorite, 14-point favorite. That was against Northwestern. 2-point favorite, 6-point favorite, 5-point favorite, 3-point favorite. Year before, 14-point underdog, Penn State. 10-point favorite, Michigan State. Then other than that, 2-point favorite, 9-point underdog, 3-point underdog, 5-point underdog, 3-point favorite, 5-point favorite, 1-point favorite, 2-point favorite. My point is, if you just go through these seasons, if they're not playing like Ohio State or somebody like that, which they're pretty much the outlier, Iowa always plays close games. They win most of them, but they play close games. And for them to be a 8.5 to 9.5 point favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a little bit surprising. I thought, 5, maybe even 6.5 starting off would have been the choice after the Nebraska game. But yeah, I can definitely see that. It's just, you know, Minnesota didn't look good against teams that Iowa played, and Iowa kind of didn't really destroy Rutgers. It took them a while to finally beat Rutgers. And Purdue was in it for a bit, but by the second half, Iowa just ran them over.
Iowa's been that much of a favorite 4 times in the last 3 years, and those were against Northwestern and Purdue and Nebraska when they went 3-9.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about it. I mean, the game has been close too the last couple of years, except for last year. It's always been a tight game. It's always at least around 7 to 8 points. No, I'm sorry. It's always around 7 to 5 points wins for Iowa usually. Occasionally a 3-point win, but it's usually a touchdown or a field goal. It's never easy. And like you said, they played just very close because if they had an offense the last couple of years, they would have been the most dominating team in college football.
Yep. For sure, man.
But I just hope we stop the run and contain them offensively and be able to at least, get points early. Like I said last time, if you get a touchdown or a field goal early, start feeling some momentum, feeling good. I think early in the game for PJ is even if it's like 4th and short and you're inside the 10-yard line, maybe just try to kick the field goal. Just don't trust that Iowa defense to make a play on. And I feel I trust them to stop us even on 4th and shorts. So try to at least get a field goal, at least in the early parts of the game. Get any points against this defense, really.
All right.
That's pretty much it. So I'll talk to you later, Mark.
Thanks, man. Have a good night and enjoy the game.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Minnesota Dave stopping by. See a lot of good comments here in the chat. Uncle Rico's stopping by tonight. Haven't seen that name in quite a while. Rob says Iowa is not beating Oregon. Probably not, but Oregon is certainly not a great football team. They're good, but playing at Iowa, I've seen a lot better teams go down than this Oregon team. And by the way, there's Rob. Rob, what's going on?
Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Good.
Myself, I am a little sick, under the weather again, unfortunately. It's that time of the year. But no, I don't think Iowa's going to beat Oregon. Now, can they? Of course they can. Of course they can.
That was my point. I didn't say that I was picking them to win. I just said
right.
Win the game.
No, I'm just kind of making one of my predictions like I like to do, like I predicted LSU losing to Vandy. Of course, that wasn't some kind of hot take. I think a lot of people thought that after the way LSU's been playing, but I've been pounding the LSU was overrated drum all year, even when people were like saying, "Oh no, LSU's good. Just wait, they'll beat us." No, they're not. But yeah, I don't see Oregon losing. I think Oregon's going to use that win or that loss to Indiana as a catalyst, not to the extent that Ohio State did with Michigan last year. That was just ridiculous. And Oregon doesn't have the amount of they've got a lot of talent, but they're not like that Ohio State team last year. They just really needed a spark. But I think Oregon's going to go on a little stretch here where they'll probably win out, and I think when Ohio State, it's probably going to be Ohio State versus Indiana in the Big Ten championship, and Indiana is going to once again realize that they can't hang with Ohio State. Can't wait for that game because a lot of these Indiana fans, not all of them, there's some good Indiana fans out there, but man, there's some talkative Indiana fans right now, Mark. A lot of these guys are like
they're drunk with success.
Yep, they're like, "Oh, we're the best team ever. We're this, we're that." It's like, guys, you're a very good football team this year, but pump the brakes. Let the season play out and let's see where you guys land. But anyway, what are your thoughts on some of the upset alerts? I don't want to like say what you're predicting for your scores. I know you have people pay for that, but as far as this week goes, if we're talking like an upset alert meter, like let's say 10 is a major upset alert, like there's going to be a good amount of upsets, and like a 1 is like not that many upsets. What would you say the upset alert meter is this week?
Overall or on particular games?
Yeah, overall for the week, for like the majority of the games. Because I'm looking at the list here, and it doesn't seem like there's going to be that many upsets to me. Just looking at the games.
Okay. Well, I believe in the probabilities, and I look at it every week. And I think we were having a conversation, you and I, a couple weeks ago, where I noted, maybe to you, or it hit me after we got off the phone, that that there are, like clockwork, 4 to 5 upsets every week in college football among power conference teams. It's uncanny. I looked at every week this year, and there were 4 to 5 upsets every week.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
And I've been tracking this for 7 or 8 years. And not that there's never been a week where there were 3 or 6, but it's 4 or 5 90% of the time. So you figure if all the teams in the top 25 are playing, which typically a couple are having buys, and then some are playing each other, there's usually about 19 to 21 games in the top 25 involving top 25 teams. And then I extend that out to the power conferences as well. So, there's whatever, there's 30 games in power conference play. So if we look at tomorrow's slate of games, there they are. I would say, do you consider Ole Miss beating Oklahoma an upset?
Ole Miss beating Oklahoma? No, because in my opinion, I think, AP obviously has Oklahoma ranked lower, but I'm not super sold on Oklahoma right now. Like I was earlier in the year, and then they just kind of fell off the rails. So I'm not sure what to expect out of that game. And it's not like Ole Miss is some world beater either. Although they probably had their best game against Georgia in a loss.
Well, for me, anything under a field goal, I don't consider an upset. Like,
right.
You brought up LSU and Vandy. Vandy was a 2.5 point favorite. Well, they won the game anyway. But if LSU wins that game, do I consider that really an upset? No, not really. 2.5 points. So it's at least got to be a field goal plus for me. Oklahoma's a 5.5 point favorite against Ole Miss. So it's technically an upset, and it's close to a touchdown upset.
Wow, they have Oklahoma as a 5.5 point favorite against Ole Miss, huh?
Yes.
That's interesting to me. They must know something I don't know, because I don't know, man. That one seems kind of fishy to me. I wouldn't touch that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch it. Well, I've got to, but I'm touching it. But I expected Oklahoma to be slightly less of a favorite, but I guess not by much. I would have said, if we typically go by the field goal at home business, that this is basically a toss up. So I would have gone 3.5 or 4. It's what I expected. Don't be surprised if Virginia goes to North Carolina and loses.
Right. Now that wouldn't. Well, okay. I was about to say that wouldn't surprise me, but then again, the way that the way that Belichick has been this year and that whole thing, I'd be lying if I would say that wouldn't surprise me. I don't think Virginia is some world beater that they can't lose, but yeah, that would be a little bit of a surprise to me. But I do expect
it would. I don't even know if it would surprise me. It would not surprise me. I'm not saying I'm picking it to happen, but North Carolina is an 11.5 point dog.
Right.
So there's one right there. Northwestern, Nebraska. They're both 5-2. Northwestern's an 8-point underdog.
Yeah, that's a good pick, Mark. I mean, that one might be a lot more probable than probably most of the rest of these upset chances. Northwestern's been playing pretty good lately. I'm not saying they're a good team, but they've been playing, pretty well for what they are. So could be interesting.
I think SMU is going to go to Wake Forest and take care of business, but they're only a 3.5 point favorite. Kansas State is a 3.5-point dog at Kansas. Again, do I really consider that much of an upset? No, but technically it's an upset. And I could see that happening. Auburn's a 3-point dog at Arkansas. I don't give South Carolina much of a shot beating Bama.
Although that would be a massive upset. Like, I was thinking to myself earlier, like, I wonder what would be the bigger upset out of these, like Stanford beating Miami or South Carolina beating Alabama. And I think Stanford is probably a substantially worse team than South Carolina, so that would probably be.
And again, then the next couple games we've got, the point spreads are so minuscule. I don't think there's really an upset there. Illinois is about a 4-point dog at Washington. Minnesota's, as we just discussed with Minnesota Dave, an 8.5-point underdog at Iowa.
Mark, I never thought I would say this, but I'm actually looking forward to watching Iowa tomorrow against Minnesota.
There we go.
I guess I'm a sicko. I'm sick and I'm a sicko. So I'll be watching that game as a double sicko, I guess.
Well, at 3:30, I've got to go. Ooh. I try to watch 2 games. And again, I may not even be around to watch 2 games, period. But anyway, I would start I think I think there are a lot of good games there. And they're not Bama, South Carolina. I may choose to watch Bama, South Carolina until it ceases to be a game, just to see the best team play. But Mizzou and Vandy's should be a heck of a game. And Illinois, Washington could be a heck of a game. BYU, Iowa State, and Minnesota, Iowa. There's 4 games right there that could be really good.
Yeah. I think the Minnesota or Missouri Vanderbilt game is going to be pretty close. And I also think I think Washington and Illinois will be close. And yes, obviously Minnesota, Iowa. I think Iowa's going to win. I think Illinois is going to win. I think Vanderbilt's going to win, and I think Alabama's going to win. BYU, I mean, I could see them losing. I'm not sold on BYU, but that's just my own personal bias, I guess.
I'm sure Pitt is a substantial favorite at home against NC State. 6.5. The rest of these games don't matter. Cincinnati plays an important game against Baylor. They're only a 3.5-point favorite. Texas is a 7.5-point favorite on the road at Mississippi State. That could be a bit of a trouble spot.
Yeah, Mississippi State's offense versus Texas's defense. Something's got to give.
Yeah. Oregon and Miami, like you say, are just substantial favorites. They're both 29 to 31-point favorites. Texas A&M and LSU, there's really not a favorite there. It's Texas A&M by 2.5. I give Michigan State no chance of beating Michigan. When I say no chance, I don't literally mean no chance. A 5 to 8% chance.
Well, that's why it was funny.
Kentucky's played within a score of Ole Miss and took Texas to overtime, and both of those games were at home, and they've got Tennessee as an 8-point underdog.
Yeah, that was funny when you kind of forgot that Indiana played Michigan State last week, and you said that Indiana had a bye. You weren't really wrong, Mark.
Yeah,
you weren't really wrong. Yeah. So
Vegas continues not to be a believer in Houston. They're about an 8-point underdog at Arizona State, but Houston's 6-1. So
yeah, that might be a pretty sneaky good game right there too.
Could be. Yeah, it's a big game too in the Big 12.
Yeah, people are saying
games.
Yeah, people are saying this week of college football is not very good, and I'm like, at first I kind of agreed with them. I'm like, yeah, this isn't like, because you look at the marquee matchups and you're not blown away, but then if you really get into it, you're like, yeah, there's actually some pretty good games here potentially. So
yeah, the best teams in the conferences are not playing each other,
right?
But the middle, like the second tier, the third tier, there are a lot of those games.
Yep. And Mark, I got one more thing I got to complain about before I go. Why as a team like Notre Dame, How are you not able to get a good kicker? Like, it blows my mind. Can we get somebody, like, I don't care, go get somebody off their soccer team or something. Like, this is ridiculous, man. I don't understand. I don't know if you watched that USC game, but they kicked it out of bounds before the touchback like 2 times, got a penalty, missed a field goal, missed a point after again, but this time they actually were able to kick it at least. Notre Dame special teams, at least in the kicking department, has been horrendous. And that goes back to like years ago. Like, they weren't very good last year. They did it okay in the playoffs, but like, what is going on here? I don't understand how Notre Dame just can't get a good kicker. It blows my mind.
That reminds me of when Alabama was winning national championships and they went through a string of kicking issues. They missed the most extra points in the country for about a 4 or 5 year span. And they obviously played their way through it. But yeah, you would think that a guy like Marcus Freeman, a program like Notre Dame, that he would just say, go, whoever my kicking specialist is, my special teams coordinator, obviously, go out and get the best kicker you can possibly find.
Oh yeah, and it was like last year in the championship, right? Like they kicked the field goal, boing, yeah, and that was a loud, resounding doink, Mark. That was a loud, resounding doink. But anyways, you reminded me of one thing before I go. Marcus Freeman. So there was a caller the other day, and I wanted to discuss it, and I forgot, or maybe I didn't call in or something. But somebody was saying that they wouldn't want Marcus Freeman as their head coach at Florida or something like that. I'm just like, dude, the guy is putting together potential 2 back-to-back top 5 recruiting classes if 2027 pans out. He has got his team into the playoffs and the Natty. And I would say, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it was actually a very good, valid path to get there. Like, it wasn't just like the BCS where Notre Dame got in and got smoked by Alabama. Like, they had to earn their way in. That's something Brian Kelly was never able to do. So Freeman is a proven winner, and sure, he has his hiccup games, but it seems like that's not. I wouldn't really call A&M and Miami a hiccup game. That was more of just like the team was getting a new defensive coordinator. They have played such better defense since like week 3. Like, since that second half of the Purdue game, they've actually come together and started playing really good defense. But yeah, I think if you'd be kind of crazy, in my opinion, if you wouldn't want Marcus Freeman as your head coach. Now, there's a couple of coaches, obviously Kirby Smart at Georgia. I mean, they're not going to want Marcus Freeman to come in. Like, obviously, there's some jobs out there that have a couple of guys that, but I mean, to me, he's like a top 5, top 10 coach, easy, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. I can only think of 2 coaches in America that I would take over him, definitely. Now, everybody don't hear that incorrectly. I'm not saying he's the 3rd best coach in the country, but I'm saying that Ryan Day and Kirby Smart, I'm taking over Marcus Freeman. After that, I would have to think about it. Lane Kiffin, Steve Sarkisian, fill in the blank, whoever you want, Matt Campbell. I would have to think of even Dabo Swinney today. We're not looking at Dabo Swinney 10 years ago. We're not looking at his accomplishments, his career, which is one of the probably 10 best of all time. We are simply looking at today. Would I take Marcus Freeman against Dabo Swinney today? Maybe.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. One thing, I mean, his players are running through brick walls for that guy, and he's kind of a player's coach, but not like a player's like, he's a player's coach, but he's very stern and very strict. Like, he'll get on him. Like, when Christian Gray was getting torn up against USC this year, he gave it to him. He said, "Look, I'm not going to let you off the hook. Like, this ain't going to fix itself. You need to get it together." And then Christian Gray got the pick, and he kind of gave it back to Freeman a little bit, and that's a good, healthy relationship. And he's just that kind of player's coach. Like, he's good when, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I love Freeman, man. I just love what that guy stands for, and love his coaching style. And I don't miss Brian Kelly at all. Hopefully LSU will be rid of that issue for their own good in a little bit. His seat is pretty hot, but I'm going to get off here, Mark, and let another caller jump on. So
thanks, Rob.
Yep.
I'm trying to understand what this actually means okay, Ryan is talking about the Death Valley in LSU. There are obviously 2. So we've got Ryan saying Texas A&M has only played in Death Valley 4 times since 1979. Is that true? So LSU and Texas A&M used to play quite a bit in the 70s and 80s. Then obviously Texas A&M was in a different conference. First the Southwest Conference, then the Big 12. Then they joined the SEC in 2012. So from 2012 through 2023, there were divisions in the SEC, and obviously Texas A&M and LSU were in the same division and played many of those years the final game of the season. So that's 12 years of them playing home and home. So I would be willing to look that one up. I don't know for sure, but I'm figuring out here that Texas A&M has played in Death Valley more than 4 times since 1979. I might be wrong. I would not bet my mortgage on it, but I don't know where else they would have been playing. It's not like the Arkansas Texas A&M game where they play it at a neutral site. So I don't believe that's correct. Number one. And then we got our buddy Ryan saying Ohio State has not won in Death Valley. They've played there once and they tied. They've also never lost in Death Valley. So that is also a statement, a true statement we could make, a factual statement. So, be careful with factual statements, just so they're correct, but obviously put them into context. Yes, Ohio State tied LSU 13-13 in Death Valley in 1987. And then the next year, Ohio State beat LSU in Columbus on a Bobby Olive touchdown in the final seconds. We got Hall of Fame Trey stopping by.
Hey, what's up, Mark?
Not too much. How you doing?
I'm all right. Go back to the Texas A&M and LSU. The one time I did remember they're not playing back and forth was the Cotton Bowl. It was like 2010, 2011. That was a good game. I think
That's
that was
not what we're talking about. I'm talking about them playing as SEC members.
Oh, SEC member. I thought
when did Texas A&M and LSU play in the Cotton Bowl?
It was in. I'm talking about the bowl game. They did play.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't remember Texas A&M and LSU playing in the Cotton Bowl.
It was like 2010. They had Jordan Jefferson and Jarrett Lee.
I don't think so.
And before it was Arkansas.
I would stake my reputation on those two teams never playing in the Cotton Bowl, or at least during our lifetime.
I swear, maybe it was LSU and somebody else. Who knows?
Yeah.
But let me tell you something, guys. I'm telling you,
it was not LSU and Texas A&M. I'm looking up Cotton Bowl history. Keep going there, Trey.
Oh, okay. I thought it was 2010 or 2011.
I remember these things.
Arkansas and Auburn.
You know what? Look at that. You're right. That's why I didn't make a bet on it. LSU beat Texas A&M in the 2010. I don't remember this game.
I remember it because
LSU beat Texas A&M.
The only reason I remember it, Mark, was because it was Pat Summerall's. It was Pat Summerall's last game calling.
Pat Summerall?
Yeah, Pat Summerall's last game, I think. Yeah, he did Fox. The weird thing, he only did Fox college football one time a year. And it was the Cotton Bowl, like probably 3 years straight. Because I remember it was.
Wow. Well, I'm not going to say anything else tonight because I've missed that one. I do not remember LSU and Texas A&M playing in the Cotton Bowl. Okay, LSU won 41-24.
Mm-hmm. And I think who was that? Miami Dolphin. It was a Miami Dolphin player, but he went to Texas. He was a Texas
Ryan
A&M.
Tannehill.
Who? Yeah, Ryan Tannehill. It was Ryan Tannehill versus Jarrett Lee and Jordan Jefferson. That was a good game until the very end.
Yeah,
it was a very bad game for.
I'm sure I watched it.
But
there goes the memory. All right, I stand corrected on that one.
Hey, it's all good. The other day, we talked about Auburn, and the more I think about it, Mark, I think Arkansas beats Auburn, and they're not going to keep up with Auburn's defense is not as good, as it was. In Arkansas with Bobby Petrino, even though I don't like him, he's a I won't even say it on your live stream, but he's not a very good guy, and he's a liar. But he knows how to run an offense, and he got this offense clicking the last couple of weeks, but they can't seal up the victories, Mark. I think they put a W on Auburn. If I was Auburn, I'd be very careful. But is Auburn favored?
No, Arkansas is a 2.5 to 3 point favorite.
I'm betting on them to cover. I mean, that's how Arkansas might not be a good all-around team, but they have surely gotten better on offense since Sam Pittman got fired and Bobby Petrino really starting to have his own way. I think he'd be the coach by the end of the year, Mark. I guarantee you, he'd be right back in his spot because he used to do it at Louisville and got that job back in Louisville. He's going to get his job back in Arkansas, I believe. And
Trey, if you spend a lot of time in Mississippi,
and do I spend a lot of time in Mississippi?
Have you spent a lot of time in Mississippi?
No, I never went to Mississippi.
Okay,
I was mighty close
because there's a Louisville, Mississippi, and every time you say Louisville, you say Louisville. So I was thinking that in Mississippi they have a Louisville, Mississippi.
Do they really? Oh, that's crazy. That's actually crazy. Well, I am from South Georgia.
Louisville. Yeah.
I actually from South Georgia, so I'm like 5 hours from Mississippi and 6 hours when you go to Panama City Beach. You actually go all the way through the Florida Panhandle. You'll be in Louisiana in 6 hours. In Baton Rouge. It's crazy. We're that close to it. But I also would say, guys, that I would not bet on Nebraska. They're going to have another letdown. I think Northwestern somehow is going to beat Nebraska, Mark. I'm tired of, trying to go for Nebraska and take the next step, and they can't do it. I don't think they ever will do it unless they figure stuff out and completely know how to put together a game. They can't do it. I think Northwestern beats Nebraska somehow. I'm off that bandwagon now, Mark. I can't do it. I'm not on that band. I can't. And every time I believe in Nebraska, Mark, every time it's and you would think they win by 10 points, maybe 20. They're not doing it. And they have like Patrick Mahomes Jr. out here, and he's making mistakes at times. And I thought he would be a Heisman hopeful, Mark. I really thought so. I was really impressed what he did last year, and he is not taking a big step either. The whole Nebraska team didn't take the whole step. They'll go to a bowl game again, and they have a better record than they did last year. But I can't take them seriously as a Big Ten contender. I can't do that. If they played Michigan, now if Michigan played Nebraska, I don't know if they do this year, I will pick Michigan over Nebraska. Even Michigan's not that good.
Michigan has already beaten Nebraska this year.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
Oh, well, there you go. There's your answer right there. I did not pay attention to Nebraska. I jumped off that bandwagon weeks ago, Mark. Weeks ago. I can't take him seriously. Also, I would also say Minnesota, I like that Minnesota guy, that Minnesota Dave guy. You know, for a story for him if he's here. I always liked Minnesota in a way. And it's not because of Marshawn Lynch. It was I have a county fair and it's coming up next week. But it was 2019 and they had Tanner Morgan and that good receiver that year. And they went 10-2. I was hoping they wouldn't win the Big Ten that year. I was pulling for them so hard. Tanner Morgan made me into a Minnesota fan. The way he was slinging the ball. I mean, he was electric. It got me excited. They beat Penn State. And too bad they couldn't make it to the Big Ten championship and all that. What could have been for them. That actually made me a Minnesota fan for them. I like Minnesota. But also, if we go by conferences, I have favorite teams in each conference. So in the Big Ten, I know you're an Ohio State guy, right, Mark?
I've been told that. Sure. Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite team anyway? I never knew that.
My favorite team? Well, it used to be fun when I came on here and nobody knew my favorite team, because this is what told me that I was doing my job, is nobody could ever guess my favorite team for years.
You seem like a Big Ten guy. You got that Big Ten live stream show. So
maybe I'll be hush hush, and maybe I'll ban everyone who knows who I root for. We'll block them from the channel. We'll start over, and I'm going to be a Wake Forest fan.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Wake is going to be my team. No, you know what? I want to honor if we've got any of these people in the chat from Hawaii. So we got a contingent from Hawaii. Can these people step up here? Who do we have from Hawaii? I don't know if they're on with us tonight.
Oh my goodness, I
But,
love Hawaii.
we've had some people step up and let us know that they want some Hawaii merch. And there's
Hey.
about 6 or 7 people from Hawaii, and a couple called the other night and said that there's people starting to watch us in Hawaii. So maybe I'll become a Hawaii fan. Oh, you know what? No. This reminds me, Trey. This reminds me. I declared during the off season, I actually posted a video of who my new favorite team is, and you will never guess who they are.
I didn't watch it, but I'm going to say two teams. I bet is.
Okay, I'll give you one. I'll give you one hint. G5. It's a G5 team.
Oh,
and then I'll tell you why.
Okay.
There's a good reason why.
Is it because of the old times of like the BCS Buster or the new era?
Well, you're going in good directions, and it's going to be impossible for you to guess this. Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina.
Oh, you serious?
You know why Coastal Carolina is my favorite team?
Okay, why?
Coastal Carolina announced this off season that everyone eats free at the concessions. That families get free concessions at the concession stand with no limits.
Oh,
and I thought with the rising costs of college football games, that the typical American family cannot take it themselves. The mom and dad cannot go and take their 3 kids and pay for 5 tickets and parking and all the other business and eat. And you get some lousy nachos and like a dog and a drink. What's that cost?
That's probably like when I went
like
to
$22 probably per person. You got
30.
5 people. You're spending $120 just buying like stale nachos and a bad hot dog and a drink. And it's a mini vacation to go to a college football game for a family of 5. So as soon as I heard Coastal Carolina was doing this, I went nuts and I posted a video. And the only problem, Trey, was I was not able to find Coastal Carolina gear that was teal. I wanted a teal shirt. So
their teal was pretty rad. Yeah, their teal.
All I could find were black and white, and people wouldn't like notice what I was wearing. So I wanted to wear a teal Coastal Carolina shirt because they're my favorite team. Now I can't tell you what their record is right now, but they're my favorite team.
Let me tell you something. I love their teal. I love their black and teal. When they were really, really good that one year, or maybe 2 years they had going. I was like, oh shit, man! I love Coastal Carolina, but I thought you would be like a Boise State guy, or maybe an old school TCU, or maybe you want to get crazy, kind of like Utah. You know what I mean? Or I would go like West Virginia Mountaineers when they were the Big East that one year. You know what I mean?
Well, I've had dozens of people comment that have pinned me as an Ohio State hater.
I thought you was Ohio State. I thought you was Ohio State lover. Y'all talked about Ohio State a lot in that one stream. Like, God dang, is he really a Buckeye?
They win all the time.
Yeah,
so I got to talk about them.
Yeah, you got to. Unless someone beats them, I don't see you not talking about them. I mean, they're that good, and they are going to continue. They've been good as far as I can remember. It was like the Jim Tressel days, and I like Jim Tressel. He's the only guy I know that wears a sweater vest that looks like Walter from Jeff Dunham Puppet.
Well, do you know who wears one now in honor of Jim Tressel?
Oh,
you just named a team in the last 5 minutes. Who's coach? And he says because of Jim Tressel and him coaching under Jim Tressel on his staff, he wears a tie and a sweater vest. Who does that?
Oh God dang! In the
every
last 5
week.
minutes. Not Ryan Day. I don't ever see him do that.
No,
it was a Garrett Patterson.
You're telling me that you never watched this team. Then you're stuck in the SEC. He's not in the SEC.
He's not Gary Patterson.
I'm guessing TCU. The chat's gonna somebody's gonna state it because I think for as much as you know about college football, Trey, you're one of our more knowledgeable callers. I'm surprised that you don't know who wears a sweater vest every week.
I would guess all I said was Utah, and that's Kyle Whittingham. He don't. Boise State. I've never seen him wear one.
No.
Sonny Dykes.
No,
not Sonny. And not Gary Patterson either.
He's been at the school since 2017.
Oh, that doesn't help anything. Okay, you
That-
call.
I don't think many coaches have been around for 8 years at their school. I'm only thinking
I don't
maybe
really know.
15.
I really don't know.
PJ Fleck.
Oh my god, dude! Oh my god, I forgot about Minnesota. PJ Flick does.
You were just talking about him.
I just talked about him. Well, I like PJ Flick. I don't really pay attention to his clothes as much as I did Jim Trussell for me. You know what I mean? I just looked at every time I'd see Minnesota, I'd be watching them on the field and then I'd change it. I haven't been watching Minnesota in years since that time. But now I'm going to have to watch them because Iowa and Minnesota, that's a good game. And sadly to say to the Minnesota guy, I'm picking Iowa to beat Minnesota. No matter how much love I got for Minnesota, I'm picking Iowa. I can't believe he got me.
There's PJ right there.
Well, that's not really. That's like a sweater jacket. That's not really a sweater. Well, he did wear a sweater vest, didn't he? But that's like a sweater jacket. That's actually pretty dope. I see you wearing one. No, I'm telling you, Mark. I see you wearing one. You look like that kind of guy that would. You know what I mean?
Well, I will tell you, if anyone wants to go into the archives of this channel, I used to dress a lot nicer. I would wear sports jackets, and I had to dress somewhat nice at ESPN. So I'd have dress shirts on, and yeah.
Oh man,
I dress like a bum.
You'd be like the next Stuart Scott looking Sports Center. I love Stuart Scott. Let me tell you something now, Mark. Even though my John Gruden, you've been seeing his videos lately. He got the San Diego State Aztecs box yesterday, and then I looked at the schedule, and they're playing a pretty good opponent, and they're playing. Let's see, let's go all the way down. I can't see anymore. I don't know who they're playing. I was just seeing, they're playing Fresno State, and so back then when Pac-12 After Dark, and a lot of people don't remember it, but I remember Pac-12 After Dark, especially when I was younger, when I was watching Reggie Bush. There was two teams I didn't want to face, Fresno State, and I didn't want to face San Diego State, because those two always somehow beats a Pac-12 team or a Big 12 team. I was a big fan of Fresno. They were always in contendership for the Mountain West that year, all the dang time back then. But ever since, this is like the best start since Derek Carr. What did you think, Mark?
Well, I think that we're over time, Trey, and I know if I get you wound up, and you already are, I don't need to get you wound up, that you would talk for the next 5 hours about all sorts of good stuff. But yeah, we're going to shut it down from here.
I will say this.
This will go down in history possibly as the worst show I've ever done.
Why you say that?
This is the one right here, because I did not remember that LSU and Texas A&M played in the Cotton Bowl in 2011.
Dang.
I almost never make mistakes like that.
Dang.
Yes, I'm feeling horrible right now.
Dang.
And I would blame it on you, but you're doing a good thing by pointing out that I got that wrong.
Hey, man, I gotta go John Gruden on you. Like, what the hell was that, Mark? Come on,
yeah.
Spider Y2Y banana. Come on, Mark. Aqua 88. Come on, Mark. Come on. It's the Cotton Bowl. I love that. I love that game. Come on, Mark.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to get over that one.
Oh, you will. I will say this for upset, especially before I leave.
It's like do you like the NFL, Trey?
I like the NFL. I do videos on the NFL more than college now, but I do college just for fun, just to mess around.
It's like I will never get over the 1982 NFC Championship game. That's
Lord,
the worst loss of my life.
Oh Lord, what was that thing? 1992.
That was way before your time, but
was it like Giants versus?
That was the Dwight Clark catch.
Oh God, Cowboys and Bills.
Niners.
You sure?
Dwight? Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure of this one. Yes.
I don't know. The 90s there's two teams.
Well, I didn't say the 90s. I said the 1982
NFC
Championship game.
Okay, 1980. I was about to say 1990. No, like 1980s. It was a lot of 49ers that decade. Joe Montana and Jerry Rice was messing them up and he still played until 2002. Jerry Rice did. So my mom's favorite player is Jerry Rice.
I interviewed Jerry Rice twice.
Oh, what?
Yes.
I didn't even do that. I didn't even do that. What?
I
Okay,
worked
let
at
me
I was the sports director at a TV station in Mississippi, and so when Jerry Rice was in town, he was kind enough to do a couple interviews with me,
go.
one-on-one.
Goodness. Was he a nice guy?
He
Or
was great. Yes,
Oh,
he was an
man.
extremely nice guy. One of the interviews, I was one-man band, so I was doing the mic and the tripod and everything by myself.
Oh,
And he was
man.
so patient, and I was like, "Can you hold the mic and I'll set up the shot?" And like he did everything I asked him to do. I'm
What
like,
a guy.
Can you hold up this white card? I need to get a white balance. And he was great. He was extremely nice. Very great.
You would not believe it, but when I first saw my girlfriend, maybe I'll bring it on here, Monday on the reactions. My girlfriend was from El Paso, Texas, so I had to fly from Georgia to Dallas, Texas on a flight. And would you believe I met Michael Irvin?
Nice.
Michael Irvin, I swear, man, he's a nice guy, but man, he is hyped up all the time, worse than me, Mark. That guy is hyped.
An intense guy. There's no
My
doubt
God,
about that. Yeah.
What kind of cocaine is he on? Oh gosh, he's all over the place. Oh, I took a picture with him. He's one of the nicest people I ever met, as far as I know. It's not personal, but I think he was a nice guy. And I went over when I stayed at Dallas. I was seeing a lot of people I wouldn't think. I don't know if it was an NFL game, but I'm not kind of shy guy, so I didn't want to step in front of big timers. But I did see Emmitt Smith, and I saw Troy Aikman. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's a Ring of Honor thing at the Cowboys or something that one year. But I did see Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman. That was a duo back in the 90s.
That's right.
I like both of them. But
all right, Trey.
Nice guys. But before I leave, I tell you this. Before I tell you this, Ole Miss beats Oklahoma big.
Okay.
Big. I have no faith in Oklahoma after they showed me the last week.
Okay.
Versus Texas really deflated me.
That's right. Oklahoma was supposed to win that game big, right?
Yeah, and they deflated me, and I came on the show. I was like, I apologize, Mark. I apologize. They made me look so bad. I'm going against them. And also, after that game, Florida takes Lane Kiffin.
Okay. I tried to talk you out of that Oklahoma-Texas prediction.
Well, I really had a lot of belief in the defense. That maybe the defense is what's that called? Not as good as you think they are. They're one of them fraud defenses. They're pretty good, but not that good. Because if they're that good, they'll help John Mitter out, and they didn't even show up. So I think Ole Miss will expose them. I mean, bigger than Texas did. And Ole Miss, I think they go on to the playoffs, but Lane Kiffin's going to leave them soon because there's been more reports.
All right, Trey. I've wrapped you up a few times now. We appreciate you being here, man.
All right. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks a lot. If I don't get on top of Trey on these, I wrapped him up about 18 times there. Okay, Trey, this is it. And then 8 minutes later, we're hearing stories about Michael Irvin, but he's a great caller. All right. You can get my picks on Patreon. You can get them here as well as a top tier member, or you can get them on Patreon. And you don't need to sign up for the month. You can just get them per week. And then you get the Steve Merrill selection, which he's 34-14 against the spread on his under the radar selection. And then you get the picks from Corey Bratta and Matt Zemek and Steve Dace as well. And there you see my record. So patreon.com, MarkRogersTV. All right. Maybe we'll go back to that name. We'll scrap this voice of college football, go back to Mark Rogers TV. Seemed like more people watched it then. All right, everyone. Appreciate you being here. Enjoy the games on Saturday, and we will see you later.